Aikido is a way of bringing, it's a path of peace. It's called the art of peace. Getting involved in a martial art like Aikido was a really good way to kind of focus my energy on something I felt I could do. I mean, I could run on my own, and that was fun, or bicycle. But Aikido is something that you get to do with other people, and it's not a team sport at all, but it's sort of a different feel. It was a different way of doing physical activity. But you have to train mentally, really. I mean, this is not just this physical sport. You really have to train for awareness. And you have to really train your own aggressiveness. That's the hardest part of it, I think, because there are all kinds of sneaky ways that we can get back into our own aggressive mindsets without hardly knowing it, even if all you're doing is just pushing somebody a little bit. And, you know, one of the first things you learn how to do in Aikido is take a roll. So it's not a somersault. It's a different kind of thing. But really, the challenge is, how do you figure out connection? What is that supposed to look like? How should it feel? You know, and where does it happen? And that's a place that you can experiment with that on the mat through this sort of physical embodiment, but it goes way beyond that. If you make this commitment to peace, you have to kind of, the first person you really have to work with is yourself. And you just have the opportunity to work with another person in Aikido to kind of see how, in a way, that person's aggressiveness is a mirror of your own. You know, right. And you can't pretend like you're better and you've got it all figured out and you're just like in this peace love place. It's not. It's, you know, it'd be nice to be there, but it's just constant work.
Well, I don't know if sports have changed as much as I've changed. Remember people who have made a difference in your life and be sure to thank them. And I think that is a wonderful quote because volleyball made a huge difference in my life. And so I need to thank the people that made that possible. In volleyball, what I learned is if I didn't play my very, very, very best game, that my whole team suffered. But on this team, I also learned that you learn how to win and you learn how to lose. And I don't know that I was very good at either of those until I was almost 70 years old and a part of the Glams. At this age, I want to play whatever I'm able to play. And so I no longer can play volleyball. I actually could play volleyball. But if I could play with women my age, I would play. But I don't want to play with women younger because they're faster and better, and I'm afraid to get hurt. Because if I get hurt playing volleyball, then that means I won't be able to throw the shot or play golf. And so therefore, I want to play what I'm still able to play safely, but I want to do it. And so this is an indoor shot, and I have an outdoor shot. The outdoor shot is smaller, and so because of the sports is what I enjoy doing the most. You can read a book and you can belong to book clubs, and there's a lot of things at this age. There's no excuse for being bored at this age. There's plenty of things to do. But I prefer sports to anything.
This is a good life. It's a good life. It's a life that you can enjoy. It was my 65th birthday. And female, male, that's how they would group them all. I was the only one, baby. So I came away in first place as a birthday gift to myself. And that is what made me start bodybuilding. I just loved it. I enjoyed it. And then and as I say, I loved the people that was participating in the shows. We had something in common. We had something to get together. I didn't give them a chance to sit me down to feed somebody. I was doing it myself. I was just active. I just like to be active. And I still like to be active. That's why Wilma Jean is in the gym every day. I don't do the heavy free weights, and that is because I don't want to hurt this body. So I do just the machines, and the machines are in good shape. Here and then back.
Just remember wall side. So if you're standing this way, boom, boom.
I work out, and I feel good working alone. I just think of it as an old woman having a good time, enjoying herself. that I don't. I would like to. I guess I want to be. I don't know the word for it, but I want to show older women that you don't have, you can do whatever you want to do, whatever your mind and your body to do. And don't say just because society feels you're supposed to do this, the society feels. No, you don't do what society feels you should do. You do what you want to do, what you feel you want to do. Okay.
Yeah, we think of our pastime and our hobbies as
fun.
as fun as opposed to being competitive, I guess. Yeah. What we're doing is we're competing for hula in Paris, France. Yes, so that would be very interesting. Finally, I got to the point where I don't need to do it every day, and I know the routine. So I think a lot of us has gotten to the point where we know the routine. Now it's just doing all the nitpicking and to see if our hands are together and to see if our footwork are together, if we're looking together, because in hula, we're all like robots. We all have to look alike and move the same way and smile the same way or not smile and dip, angles, dip, everything. And we're at that point now where we can be really nitpicky about that.
that's the whole goal. It's all synchronization. But now you had to make sure you also matched the appearance-wise, like makeup. So I learned how to put on makeup for the first time. I'm like, makeup? I don't do makeup.
I don't do makeup too.
And that's one thing that I like about hula, is hula is very different because it has that cultural component in there. And so it's really neat to share it with the girls that come through. Yeah.
But a lot of preparation, The learning of the words, the meaning of the words. And
the group that sings it,
yeah,
they're part of it as well.
the etiquette when traveling together as competitors or just the whole halal. You have all of those that you need to keep in mind.
And see, these guys also have to be able to sing as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
So they're chanting as they come in, as they dance. And so that adds, there's that mental component that you have to be able to sing consistently, and you have to sing
Yeah.
like you can project your voice and be heard. And so that takes, I think, a lot
Yeah,
of...
I think initially when we
stamina.
first did it, we were huffing and puffing to the point. Now we are at this point where we can actually sing and not be so exhausted looking. Yeah, so that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like to play. We first started playing, the team got together over at the School of Mines. I thought, well, that was, the first time I went there, I saw all these people with hold and white hair, and I thought, I don't belong here, but yeah, I do. Yeah. My older sister and I practiced at home. My dad put us up a basket. We had this big barn, and he put us up a goal in that loft. And when the weather was bad and on weekends, we could go up there and shoot. There was a lot of girls that didn't play, but it's just that the ones that I hung around with, we played ball. I'm getting slower now, as far as moving and being able to do what I used to do in playing ball. But as health-wise, yes, it's kept me moving. It's just fun. Sometimes there's young kids, that's there too, watching us play ball, and to make them keep wanting to play and don't just get old and not do nothing. I just like for women and young girls too to everybody just keep playing, because you can sit in a chair anytime, because as longer you sit in the chair, the longer you're going to have to sit in the chair. You go get your eyes checked or whatever, and you see people with a cane or with their walker or in wheelchairs and stuff too, and I think that I'm just real fortunate that I can still walk on my own, and I think basketball has done that for me.
I think the emphasis is to live, not live longer necessarily, but live healthier and just avoid more injuries. Track in Germany at that time, the tracks were mostly soggy, and rain or shine, we were out there muddy, and we didn't have starting blocks. We were taught how to crouch start, but we had to dig holes. So there was a little shovel, not what we call it, little shovel, a little trowel, that's another word for it. Trowel or something. Yeah. So whoever went first dug their holes, and then whoever came last had to try and find their place with no holes. That was, I do recall that very vividly. And it was pretty competitive at that time. There were a lot of boys, girls my age out there and were trying to beat each other. And then people put on competition. There were coaches, teachers that survived the war. There wasn't, not too many people were left, but they had us just start competition. Yeah. And you run and you throw as far as you can. That's, I think, how I learned how to throw.
Holy cow.
That's only one turn, but I normally did swing around twice. Now that's, if you want to get there's quite a lot of interruptions now with injuries, and I'm still fighting some. But I would like to say, as long as I can, which is definite, indefinite. I only, as long as my husband still competes too, and we both agreed if our bodies hold up, and it has to me, I'm much more into aesthetics. It still has to look okay. Yeah. And I'm searching this at times. I said, does that really look good? Forget it. I'm not doing it anymore. But since I can do a lot of events, and that's the thing, I'm what they call now a multi-event, heptathlon, pentathlon, 5 or 7 events. I've done them for quite a while. So there's always one event I can do. Training is not just, is all the time. I try to work out every other day if possible, maybe squeeze in a day of something light, but possibly every other day, unless there's a competition. Okay. And that can be reduced if there's a little bit of an injury or something else coming up. It's not as regimented as it was years ago.
Let's not kid ourselves. I am not going at any huge pace at all, but it's just a matter of finishing. I think it's helpful to have a group that'll almost hold you accountable. It was really when I was in my late 40s. I met a friend, her name's Paula, and she did a lot of competitions, and she just encouraged a group of us to do them. So we did a lot of marathons. We've run Grand Canyon a couple times. We did some marathons all over the country. And it was just a fun thing. It was never, you got to win. It was more, let's just do that and have fun. Let's train. Let's do this together. Now, when we started doing Pikes Peak, I did that early 2000s. We would do what we call suicides from the top. So you would start at the top, 14,000 feet, run down 3 miles, go up, run down 2 miles, go up, run down 1 mile, and go up. And that was the best training. By the time you did something, it was like when you got to 3 miles from the top, you knew, I've got this.
Keep it up, ladies and gentlemen, finish in class 20. This is going to be good. We're going to bring it in.
I learned that my body needs recoup time. I really didn't think it. I think until I got 50, I really didn't see it slowing down. And so it was a big surprise to me that, oh, you just can't do everything you want. So I fell, and I fell enough that I had a cyst on my spine, and so I had to get surgery for that. And so at that time, nobody told me that there's this thing called physical therapy, and that you should exercise after you get done. So they cut soft tissue and just cut me all up, and I thought, well, I'm signed up for the Pikes Peak Marathon in 5 months, I'm just gonna do it. Didn't know anything about training, really, after a major surgery. So I was doing that run, and I actually had to lay down because I was in such pain. Not a good idea.
Yeah.
So I still placed for my age group, which was really surprising to me because I had to lay down. And I was just looking at the time just today, and I thought, man, I should have just taken more Advil, and I could have, really been good. Yeah, I don't hope to win anything or even place. It's just the idea that I can do it.
the perfect adventure.
I always did best when I wasn't really focused on time or performance. I was just focused on having fun and enjoying the experience. Any day can be a good day, or any day can be a bad day. I'm hoping to be able to get back into running. So right now, running, I'm not doing a lot because I've fallen off my bike, or the trail has come up to meet me. What my preference is not so much races as just adventures. So I usually try and organize some adventures with my friends, and so that's my motivation, is when you play together, you get to stay friends. It's so much fun to be out in the elements and to test your own capabilities, I guess. It's not just the physical strength, it's the mental strength that goes along with the physical strength that pushes you through to be a better athlete, I would say. It's not about how fast you are or what place you come in. It's about having fun, because exercise is just something you have to have, like water, and if it's fun, if you make it part of your life, if you make it part of your family life, it becomes something that is easy and not something that you have to do, that you don't like to do. It's got to be about fun, and the more variety you have in it, the more fun it's going to be. It's a fine balance, I guess, of what not to keep injuring your body, but also to keep pushing it. I'm hoping that my body lasts as long as my spirit. That's really what the race is, right?